Once again, I accidentally deleted a video, so this is kind of a retake, but I don't remember exactly what I said. But this is an intro to the canning of tomatoes, alright? I canned, this would be from Tuesday. It's Thursday now. I believe it was Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. And Wednesday I canned tomatoes, but I just did a video for Tuesday. So pretend that this is Tuesday. I don't know, I got all the rest of it about the canning, you know, the tomato canning on there. But my little intro to it is totally missing and I have no clue what happened. I don't remember deleting anything. Maybe I imagine, oh, I wonder if it'd be possible that I thought I was recording and it didn't. No, because I watched it. I don't know. I don't know what I do. It's terrible. But anyhow, this is the new intro of canning of tomatoes. It was a very interesting, had something happen that I've never had happen before in canning. So hope you watch it. It's not that it's anything spectacular, but you know, it's just nice to have people watch my stuff. So see you later. Here's the tomatoes that I just picked yesterday. And that's not going to be enough to fill a canner, I don't believe. Maybe a half a canner by the time I'm done. What I do, I take, my hand's in the way. I take a tomato, where's the thing, and the core there, I have this really neat little doohickey. Let me get it here. Where did I put it? Oh great, now I don't know where I put the doohickey. Or did I get it out of there at all? I thought I got it out of there. Oh, there it is. Never mind. Okay. This little doohickey, I scoop out the top part of the tomato. I just scoop that out. And then I will do a bunch of those up, about a dozen of them. And I start piling them in this bowl, okay? Then when I have them done in there, then I transfer them over into this hot pan of water till the skins crack. And then I take them out with a slotted spoon and put them in this pan, which is cold water, and cool them down so I can handle them. And then I will put them in jars, which the jars I have, what I do with my jars to keep them warm, they say to put them in an oven to keep warm. Get real. I am not having my oven go. This is hot enough as it is. I'm like, why not put them in the hot canner that's heating up and keep them warm that way? You know, I got them all washed, then I fill them with water and I set them in the canner and cover it with water and start heating it up. So when I'm ready for another jar, I take them out with, let me get this thing. This thing here takes, I can't get a very good shot of it, but you know, you open it up and you grab the jar and you pull it out. And then I empty the water into the sink, and then I start putting my tomatoes in the jars, and you add a teaspoon of salt per jar. So yeah, I usually put the teaspoon of salt in the jar, and then I start putting the tomatoes in there after I peel them, because they go, you know, from the tomatoes go into hot water, then to cold water, and then I can start, I take them out of there, peel them, and I put the scrap, the skin and stuff, in a pan over here. I know it's not, I might organize it a little better. I can't remember how I did it last year, but I don't have enough counter space to put it all together there. There's the sink and then there's more counter space. So I have to move around a little bit, which is fine. It's exercise, right? And so, you know, after I peel them, then I put them in the jars, and then they're all canned up. Well, no, then I put them back in here, and they process, I think, for like a half an hour or something. You don't need pressure though. It just, you bring it to a boil, which the lid is right here, and steam, when steam starts coming out of here, a nice little steam spout coming out, then I know I can start counting down. I can lower the heat a little bit as long as there's still some steam spitting out of there, and I can hear it kind of bubbling. It's kind of boiling, you know, like kind of like a simmer or a little more. And then I set the timer for, I think it's 30, it's either 20 or 30 minutes. I gotta look at my book, but I think it's 30 minutes for a quart, for quarts. And so they process in there, and then I turn it down, wait for it to stop bubbling a little bit, and then I start taking them out with that doohickey, that jar lifter, and I set them somewhere. I usually have a towel laid out on a counter or something, and put them on there, and then I do another one. If I have another batch enough to do, then I do. Oh, and I forgot, lids. You have to sterilize the lids, so I have them in a pan of hot water. And I gotta turn that off actually, because it can, there. They'll stay nice and hot until, you know. And I don't want them too hot because then I can't get them out. I don't have a lid lifter. It's a magnetic thing, and I should really get one, because it would save on the burnt fingers. But by the time I get to them, they're still nice and warm, but they're not piping hot, so I don't really have too much of an issue anyways. But there you have it. Yeah, my little setup here, is messy as it is at work, and I had to do dishes to clear out the sink so I could put the tomatoes in it, and they're not dry yet. So, yeah, it's kind of a messy system, but it works for me. It's what it's what I have to work with. So I'm gonna go out and pick the rest of my tomatoes and hopefully fill this sink up, and it'll fill, let's see, a canner holds about, I think I got 7 quart over there, and that's what I aim to do, is 7 quart today at least, if not more. So if I could do 7 quart a day like I usually can. Last year was unusual. I was only doing maybe 3 or 4 quarts every other day or a couple times a week. It was not good. I'm used to, when I'm canning every year of tomatoes, I'm doing at least a canner every day or at least every other day. And I usually have more than enough tomatoes, and I didn't last year. So anyways, I shall let you go, and I'll try to do some more video as I go along here and there, or when I finally get all of them canned. Alright, see you later. Okay, I have my tomatoes all cored. In the directions it says to scald your tomatoes first and then core them. I tried doing that many years ago when I was first, starting to do this. Well, actually my mom taught me to do this and stuff. I decided to do this first and then put them in the hot water, because they're so hard to handle. Even after they cool down, they're mushier, and to try to scoop that out of there when they're soft is a pain in the butt. So I just scoop it out first, scald them in the water, and then I cool them down, and then I skin them, and it's so much easier. So that's my little thing that I do, but I can at least show you what I do carefully. You put these little tomatoes, I usually do 8 to 10, maybe 12 in a pan. Say 4, 6, 8. I could fit a couple more in there. There. And usually within 30 seconds or so, skins will start cracking. You just keep an eye out for it, and if they don't, you don't want them in there too much longer than that, because then they get really mushy, which isn't a huge deal because they're going to get mushy being canned, but it's just easier to work with if they're not too mushy starting off when you're trying to peel them. So I just wait for them to crack, and then I take my slotted spoon, put them into cool water, let them cool for a tiny bit, and then I start putting them in the jars, which are still in there. I gotta take one out, empty the water, put salt in it, and then I use this. I put it in the jar and put the tomatoes in this to go down so it doesn't make a big mess and stuff, and then I pack them down with a that's right, I need a spoon. I usually take this kind of spoon and get the air bubbles out, you know, go down in the jar and stuff, and then put the lids that are over there, I put that on, and then the ring, put them back in there and process them. So I gotta get going so I can scoop these out. I see a couple of them have, I don't know if you can see it kind of cracked. You can kind of see the skin rising up, and on that one too, so that means I can remove them. So check back later. Quick show of progress. So far I got one jar in there, and I've been adding the tomatoes to this one, and this is the spoon I use to, you know, cram that down in there and get the air bubbles out. And that's all the scrap so far, and I still got all of those to do, so I'm hoping it'll get a whole canner full. Oh yeah, plus I got all these in this one over here. Those are the ones that are already cored. So I just gotta might be able to put the lid on while I have you. Oh, first take a damp paper towel and get all the gunk, if there is any. So, I mean, even with the funnel, sometimes stuff still will get on the rim. So you want that nice and clean. Then I get my lid out of the water, and I put her on, get it on there square, and then put the jar on, the lid on, the lid on the jar. I gotta tighten this down. Hold on a second. There we go. Had to use two hands. And then we take it over here and gently plop her down in there. And then I gotta get my lifter. Where'd I put my lifter? I had to rearrange things a little bit. Okay, so I reach down in here and grab a jar. This will be interesting. Empty it out a little bit so I can carry it over to the sink. And since I got dishes anyway, I don't want to scald the tomatoes over there. And then, okay, there's that. And then I got salt over here. Yeah, it's not the most convenient way to do this. And then I put a teaspoon of salt in there, and then put my funnel there. And then I skin those, discard it in here, and put the sometimes I have to cut them in half to get them down, go down in there. And then I smush them down like I showed you, and repeat. So back to it. Okay, my canner is full. 7 quarts. So I gotta crank up the heat and put the lid on. I need 2 hands to do that, so I'm gonna move this thing out of the way. But I got my mess here to clean up, and I still have leftover tomatoes. So it'll be probably, I don't know if I'll have enough tomorrow. I'll just have to wait and see. They can ripen so fast overnight. So I might have another batch to do tomorrow, but we'll see. But there you kind of have it of my canning process. Let's see. Maybe I can put this lid on. I don't need to pressurize it, but I do need to keep, there we go, there, I did it. But there's the pressure thing, but I won't need that. With acidic stuff, you don't need pressure. Just need to bring it up to temp. And when steam starts coming out of that little thing there, then I'll know it's up to the temp it needs for the time I need to keep it going at. And when I do the pressurized canning, there's a doohickey. I don't even know where it's at right now. I don't need it, but there's a doohickey that goes on top of this, and then there's this thing here that pops up, kind of like a turkey timer, and that keeps the pressure in there. And then you just keep an eye on the pressure, and as that keeps going up and up, when it reaches the proper pressure for whatever you're canning, like green beans, you need to pressurize. Then you just adjust, you keep turning the heat down to stabilize it and let it do its thing, keep at that pressure for the allotted amount of time. And then you turn it off and let it come down to pressure, because you have to have that down to 0, and then you can start, you know, take the doohickey off of here, release more pressure, and then eventually open up the thing. But you do not want to open it up right away. You will get severely injured, if not killed. So, but we don't have to worry about that because I'm not pressurizing anything. So I gotta clean this mess up, and we'll see you later. Okay, I kind of got the kitchen a little bit cleaned up. I still gotta dump out the other stuff, but I wanted to show you what I mean by that steam coming out of that. See, and the water's spitting a little bit. So I need to set my timer for I was wrong, it's 45 minutes for a quart, not 30. So there you go, 45 minutes for this. And I can turn this down. You can probably hear it too, bubbling. But I can turn this down so just a stream of steam will continue to come out of it gently. I don't need it a full rolling boil, just, you know, kind of like a simmer type of thing. But there you have it. Figured I'd show you that little bit. So I got time to do other stuff around here. I gotta dump this stuff. That's all the skin and the core and stuff out of it. And I had tomatoes actually left. I did wash some stuff up, and I got more tomatoes in there. Probably enough for a couple quarts, maybe, but not enough to make it worth canning it, you know. I'll just wait till tomorrow or Friday, because Thursday I won't be here. Anyhow, there you go. Talk to you later. I heard a noise and my heart sunk. It's very rare, but it does happen. Evidently, I had a jar break, and now I have tomatoes floating around. Not happy. I'm hoping it's just a jar and not more than that, else I'm gonna have an awful mess on my hands. It happens. Okay, this is a first. The jar didn't even break, but somehow, I already dug this out, the ring and the lid came off. I haven't found the lid yet. It's got to be down in there somewhere. I think I feel it under there, but, oh, that is just so bizarre. The ring, oh, brother. Well, at least there was no broken glass. It didn't break my jar, but I have tomatoes that are going to waste. Well, that's a first. You saw it here. I've had jars break on me. You know, a clean break. It'll be like usually at the bottom or something. I go to lift the jar and then it falls out. Very rare, but it has happened. This has never, ever happened to me. I was fully expecting a broken glass, and then I lift it out and it's totally intact, but the lid came off of it. Okay, that's interesting. Oh well, I believe the other 6 are just fine. Let's hope so. Well, 6 quarts is better than no quarts. That was strange for that lid to pop off like that. I still got to dig that out of the... Yeah, look at that. Messy. Messy. I think I see it over there. Is that it? Let's see if I can dig this sucker out. See if it's damaged or what the deal was. I must not have had the lid on as tight as I thought. There it is. I got my lid back. I don't know if it'll be reusable. It doesn't. And it's kind of scratched and stuff. I'll probably have to just use a different lid. Well, I did have it. Okay. Alright. One of those days. Well, I'm heading over to my aunt's. She called, left a message. I don't know, what I think I was outside. I must have been out in the garden. And she is having some excuse me, issues with her computer, and she's had it down to the Geek Squad like twice, and they can get it going just fine there, but she can't get it going at her house. So something about the password. So I look atrocious, but I'm gonna head over there and see if I can figure it out so she doesn't have to make another trip to the Geek Squad tomorrow. So if I can't figure it out within an hour, then I'm not gonna be able to figure it out. But I have some ideas of what it might be, so we'll see if I'm right or wrong, and hopefully we can get it going, because she says that she can send email, but she can't receive it, or vice versa, something like that. So I'm thinking it's something in her email settings. So I'm going to check it out and see what I can do. We will see you again later. It is, excuse me, Tuesday evening. I just got back a little while ago from my aunt's. I was over there for a few hours. Got it fixed. There's something weird going on with her password between her ISP and getting a new computer, and it was just some kind of weird glitch, but we got it resolved, and hopefully it'll stay that way. But she's okay for now, so I'm home and I'm cleaning up, and it's 8:45 and I haven't even had supper yet. I'm really hungry, and I gotta make supper and have it ready for when Ken gets home in about an hour. So I really gotta get moving here, but I just wanted to wrap it up for tonight, and wish you a good evening, and catch you another time.